Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parco. I'm here with Amy Timar, and we're the hosts of. Glad that's out of the way.
Yes. So let me bring our guest.
Hold on, before you do that,
Okay.
did you do something last weekend, or was that the weekend before?
It was this
The rec?
last weekend, the Rec for Mental Wellness. Yes, we had 44 ruckers. We had 36 do the 6 mile, 7 mile, and then
Those
8
aren't
did.
mother ruckers, were they?
Nobody identified as that. But so it was a great event, and I'm having my follow up or finishing meeting this afternoon to kind of go through what we think we could do better and different next time. But it was great. But I want to bring my guest in.
Well, you do that. I just wanted to go over that real quick. All right. And then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and there you go.
Okay. So Mike is a new friend, but he's a veteran in this area local with me, and he's a U.S. Army veteran. Woohoo! And yes.
That's
so,
okay.
Mike.
She gave up the Army and went in the Navy, so
It's all good.
My son's airborne up in Alaska, medic airborne. So.
Oh, nice. I just came from Alaska. That was my last duty. Well, one of my last duty stations before I retired.
Now he's getting shipped down to JBL Lim.
Oh,
in June.
awesome. Yeah. Followed similar paths.
We got it, man. Don't worry about it. Don't be nervous.
No, yeah. I've been like super nervous all day about this. So
don't worry. Amy's really rude. So it's okay.
Whatever. That's the Navy in him who says that.
Yeah.
Hey, I only tell the truth.
Well, that's perspective.
Ouch.
I want to start out. Mike, why did you choose the Army?
Oh,
well, let's put you on center stage.
Oh, okay.
If you get too nervous, we'll move you off. Just
there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So why did I choose the Army? Actually, there's many reasons now that I really think about it. There's many reasons why I chose the Army, but one of the biggest reasons was the recruiter came to my classroom and he sold me on a dream, right? He came down there and he talked and he was just like, yeah, we got college, we got this, we got that. And I'm like, all right, I ain't got nothing else going on for me. I grew up kind of poor, not like super poor, but we weren't in the best situation. So I was like, might as well try this thing out and just, get some college out of the way too. But it went way different than what I thought it was going to go. That's for sure. I joined in 99. So that gives you a little perspective. Yeah.
Where did you join? Were you in that area? Where are you right now? Since I don't know where you're. Look, you're up in Washington or where?
Yeah, I'm up in Graham, Washington right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And
is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Fresno, California originally.
Oh, I'm in Modesto.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. You guys are scorching down there, aren't you?
It's actually not bad. Right? I mean, it's maybe 105, but that's a dry heat.
Oh, geez. I don't care. That's a lot.
I'm in air conditioning all day long. What did I care?
Yeah, there you go.
We dropped down to 85 on Thursday, so
yeah,
can't complain.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not Arizona or Las Vegas, so we're okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when you went in, what was your MOS, or what did you go in? When you signed up, did you take that path, or did they change it on you?
So yeah, actually, I did the delayed entry program. So I joined like a year before I actually went to basic training or whatever, and I joined as a personnel service specialist back then. I told the recruiter I wanted something that I would do with computers, right? And he's like, "Oh, I got the perfect job." Well, I didn't want to do Excel spreadsheets and awards and NCOERs and stuff like that all day, but that's what I wound up doing, and I stayed with it for like 20 years. I really enjoyed the atmosphere, like being a human resource specialist in the Army, that day-to-day peer interaction with people. Sometimes you get some bitter people, sometimes you get some happy people, sometimes you get some people that you just help out and it makes you feel a little bit better. So yeah, I was really into my job as a human resources manager. Yeah.
I got a question. So you said you joined to go to school. Did you go to school while you're in it all?
It's a complicated question, Ed.
Yes or no answer. Oh, you said.
Yeah, so I tried a little bit. I was deployed to Iraq, and I knocked out some good prereqs while I was down there.
I mean, it was 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's 20 years. Yeah, so
Goes
I did.
fast, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Yeah, I knocked out some college along the way, but not as much as I did when I got out. So now that I'm a veteran, I'm really focusing on my college now.
Yeah, and you're real old too.
I'm not that old, man.
No, it's a joke.
I'm a young retiree. I'm like 41, so I'm a young retiree.
That just means you're going on to do something else. You just have a good check coming.
Yeah.
Or at least a decent check coming when you're doing other things.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
So I know you shared with me earlier, but what are you going to school for now?
So right now, and I'm gonna kind of just get into my story a little bit. It kind of explains a little bit of everything. If that's
why you're here. It's your story, man.
Yeah.
It's your stage right now.
Yeah. So going back to joining the Army, I joined in 99. I didn't think I was going to make it a career. And then, life just kind of happened and I started going with it. And then September 11th happened too. And, I did raise my right hand. I did volunteer. So I had that sense of selfless service, sense of duty to my country. So that kind of influenced my decision to stay in. That, and I got married really young too, right? So we all have that one. But
just one.
Yes, I have a really good wife right now. She's so awesome. I love her.
It took me 2. Now I have an excellent wife. So
that's awesome, man. 3rd time's the charm. Well, hey, I hit it. I got a hit on the second time around. So she's good. But anyway, I started. I was in. September 11th happened. My unit deployed, and I was on the flight line. I was getting ready to go. Right, we were 2 weeks out from September 11th, and my unit was already on the flight line to go over there. I was in 10th Mountain Division with 187 Infantry, and we were getting ready to go. And I was on the flight line, and then my commander came up to me. He's like, "What are you doing, Pollock?" And I was like, "I'm getting ready to go wherever the hell you guys are going, sir." He's like, "No, you're gonna stay here." So I skipped that deployment, but we lost a dude on that deployment when they came back. His name was Specialist Fuller. He was a good dude. Yeah. So, but I kept charging through the ranks. It was I always look back at my time in leadership, and I just did what I had to do. I did what I could do at the time with the amount of knowledge that I had, and hopefully I was successful. When you get in your own head and you start thinking about hey, I should have done this. What if about that? About the people you served with and stuff like that. It kind of messes with you a little bit. So, but yeah. What else do you guys want to know?
Was that your story? I thought you were going to talk about. All right, so
yeah, I could tell you a little bit more. I didn't know how deep you guys wanted me to go. So
we got 30. We still have 27 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah.
21 minutes. You got plenty of time. People need to know our purpose here is to tell people about transitioning, talk about what they went in for, how their service was, what they should do different. We ask all the normal questions. So when people are thinking about joining, or if they have issues with PTSD, I see you have a mental health shirt on. That's being the PTSD month. That's important to us too, but so tell you what else. Sounds like there's more.
There's a lot more. So so I am a Purple Heart veteran. I got injured in Afghanistan on one of my deployments. I was hit by an IED on a mission, and that kind of rocked my life, right?
I'm sorry, man. You didn't start with that.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, IED. I just blew up your show, right?
No. You should have just went all right, I want to tell you my story. All right, boom.
Here we go.
I'm a Purple Heart recipient because this happened to me. Go now. We need to work on you telling your story when you tell your story. So we'll practice afterwards.
All right, man. Yeah. So yeah, I got rocked in Afghanistan. And this is kind of like why I'm such a big proponent of mental health awareness and stuff like that. You'll see it on my social media feeds and stuff. Um, after I got rocked in Afghanistan, my grandfather, like a couple months after, World War II veteran, he passed away. So I was already dealing with getting rocked and having my world turned upside down by an IED. And then my grandfather, one of the main reasons that I joined the Army, passed away. And he was kind of, he was my hero. Like, to be honest, he stormed the beaches of Normandy. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was like a bona fide badass. So when he died, that kind of hurt. So, I get back, I deployed to Afghanistan a month after I got married. I just kind of skipped that part. You know what I mean? There's a whole
It's
part
okay.
about that.
Your wife will talk to you about it later.
Yeah, I know. She's watching too. But
we'll get there. Talk about we'll get to your family. So just keep going. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. A lot of people don't realize it's different. It's not easy on a show that's live. That's on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook right now. People get nervous. It's okay. So we'll get through it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'll make sure we come back to that. So you just keep talking. All
right, bro. Got you. So yeah, I came back from Afghanistan immediately. Like within like 6 months, I PCS'd. I got down there to my new duty station, and my father came down with a brain tumor. Right. So now I'm dealing with the death of my grandfather, an IED that just went off. Now my father has a brain tumor. And then on top of that, my wife got pregnant. Right, which was a blessing.
One of those things sounds good, but I don't know which one. Yeah.
It is a blessing, but nonetheless, it's still stressful. Being with a pregnant woman is stressful. I'm sorry. You can't sugarcoat it. Pregnant women are stressful sometimes.
It's stressful for us too, especially having a new husband who just got hit by an IED and whose father and grandfather,
Exactly. She was going through it. You know what I mean? And that's why I love her so much.
What's your wife's first name?
Her name's Carrie. It's spelled, Carrie Pollock right there. That's my wife. She's awesome.
And when I look over here to the side, I'm not ignoring you. I'm seeing if people make comments that's not coming through, because sometimes people don't click on the way to put it through the Facebook.
No worries. Yeah. So a good breakup, kind of got me out of my head. But yeah, so my dad, I PCS to be with my dad. So I was only at my new unit for a couple months. And then my dad, came down with a brain tumor. So I PCS to be with him. And, within 2 weeks of checking into my unit, he passed away. So I just uprooted my family twice within a year. And then I was at that location. I got picked up for Sergeant First Class while I was there, which was, a crowning achievement in my career. I really, Sergeant First Class, that's all I wanted to be, to be honest. When I was a young private, like, you never saw a Sergeant First Class because they were like untouchable gods. It's kind of like changed a little bit in the military culture, but a Sergeant First Class was like a big deal when I was growing up. So when I got picked up, I was like really happy, but I was going through a lot at that time. When I got to that new unit, I ran into a soldier, and he had some issues himself. He was in the middle of a PCS, and his child was playing with a table, and it actually came down and it crashed on top of his head. So it put his son in the hospital. And while I was at this unit, I got to know this soldier like really well. His name is Mark Espinoza. I got to know him really well, and I did a lot of stuff for that guy. And I was there with his family. And right then I knew that's, kind of like what's going to direct my career in the future, is like connecting with people, helping them out in their time of need. I just want to be that person, that confidant, and try to help out as much as possible. So I met Mark, helped him out as much as I possibly could. He transitioned from the Army. I kept going, wound up in an airborne unit that was pretty rough. Deployed to Kosovo, did some really cool stuff in Kosovo. We helped an orphanage out there. Awesome stuff. But I spent 2 years away from my wife and my kids, right, while I was up in Alaska. So that was really difficult. I transitioned back to JBLM back in 2016. Started linking up with some of my old buddies, and it kind of brought up some bad memories and stuff like that. In 2016, I had this I will call it a mental health crisis. I usually call it a breakdown, but some of the language that we use when we talk about mental health is a little stigmatizing. So I'll call it a mental health crisis. And I was sitting in a theater doing the casualty assistance and casualty notification training, and they started talking about signs and symptoms of PTSD. And for whatever reason, like, everything resonated with me at that time, right? Everything that they were talking about, like PTSD, I'm like, I do that, I do that, I do that, I do that. Holy crap, dude. And I just felt like, I reached out to behavioral health already. I was already in counseling, and it's just like, I don't know. At that moment, I just couldn't. I felt like there was no way out. You know what I mean? So I got up. It was like way too hard for me to handle. I got up. Plus, it was like 2 days of other training where, like, you're knocking on doors telling people that their service member passed away. Man, that stuff's hardcore. You know what I mean? I had a lot of stuff going on, plus my history. So in the middle of that conference, I just got up and I left in tears, and I locked myself in a bathroom, and I was having severe thoughts of suicide, like severe suicidal ideations. Now, let me stop. Suicidal ideations are perfectly normal. Okay. And I say this to say this: they're not normal when you have a plan and you have intent. Okay. When you have a plan and an intent and you want to act on that moment, that's when it's an issue. And that's what I was experiencing at that time. At that time, I wanted to end my life, and I had a plan. I have guns in the house. You know what I mean? It's easy. I could have just went home and just boom. I got talked out of that bathroom stall by one of the members that work at JBLM in the casualty assistance office. That dude's my brother. I love him. I thank God for him every day. He immediately took me to behavior health that day. And then behavior health at that time decided I wasn't a threat to myself, and they decided to let me go. Okay. And I say that because sometimes people don't like to talk about all their crap. And when they're coming to you and they're reaching out for help and they're saying, like, I'm having these extreme suicidal ideations, we need to take that serious. Like, straight up, we need to take that serious. So fortunately, from behavior health, I went home and my wife was home. When my wife was home, I came into my room and I sat down on my bed and I didn't leave. My wife came in. She's like, what's going on? And I was like, babe, I really want to kill myself. I was like, I'm glad you're here, because if you weren't here, I probably would have done it. I was like, I need to go check in somewhere. So immediately she picked up the kids. She took the kids over to my mother-in-law's house. She took me to the emergency room, and I spent a week in the emergency. It's called 5 North in Madigan on JBLM. It's called 5 North. It's a psych ward. I spent a week in the psych ward, experienced crazy stuff, because as I come to find out, my medication was messed up, right? So after the week in the psych ward, I went back to behavioral health. They put me in a psychological health intensive outpatient program. That's an amazing program at JBLM. I cannot speak highly enough about that program at JBLM. It is amazing. They literally put me back together, right? They gave me a new purpose in life. I found myself. Since then, I've had a mission to help my brothers and sisters fight these suicidal ideations. That's my goal in life. I understand just about all the population has thought one time or another, what would life be like without me? I mean, they made a freaking movie about it. Miracle, what was it? That Christmas movie that they always do.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life, right? Thinking about stuff like that is absolutely normal. What if, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's get that out. And if you thought like that, there's nothing wrong with you, man. It's completely normal. Is when it gets out of control and you cannot control it anymore, and you have a plan and intent and you want to seriously act upon it, that's when you need to get help. That's when you need to step outside your box.
Hey, Mike, I know Amy threw a couple up, but I didn't want to interrupt while you were going through the thing because it was very powerful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
People reaching out and letting you know that thanks for what you did. And thanks for sharing your story. I don't know if you saw that when we were doing, and then people were saying,
Jen, she's awesome. She's come out. So I'm not going to talk about Jen. I'm going to talk about what she's referring to. So I do a peer support group out at a ranch. And I've met Jen out there a few times. Not to put her business out on the street, but I'm just saying, like, it's a good place to connect with veterans. And so it's out in Graham. It's called Horses Guiding Humans. Really cool location. It's low key. It's out in the sticks a little bit. We got we got a donkey, a couple of mini horses. We got a big, Mustang out there. We come together as a group. We talk about what's going on with us internally. We try to work on solutions as a team. I have goal building, stuff like that. So this group that I run, it's all based on a toolkit that I actually developed. And before I go on this whole toolkit thing, none of this stuff is mine, okay? None of this stuff is mine. These are tools that I picked up throughout my experience going through mental health, okay? Going through the mental health process and behavioral health. These are all tools that I picked up. I put them into like a nice little book. It's on Amazon, and that's what I base my support group off of. So,
what's the book called?
It's called the Warrior's Heart Toolkit. It's on Amazon Kindle.
I got that. It was on Amazon. I just didn't get the name of it.
Yeah, the Warrior's Heart Toolkit. It should.
Because I don't think you said it.
Yeah, yeah.
You said you know.
I gotta work on my story yet.
No, you're doing great. But before we keep going, something about your wife. Did you want to talk about that real quick?
Oh, dude,
you are doing really good though.
Huh? He is doing great. Yeah, it's a lot to share your story, and the reason we do this is for people like you to come and share your story, for other people to want to come and share their story. Because until you share it, then you need to share it so that you can deal with. That's one of the ways that dealing with stuff too is sharing your story, and it helps other people deal with their stories.
Exactly, and it is breaking the stigma for, especially, look, dude, I'm a big old white dude with a big old beard, right? Oh, he's gonna go check into freaking mental health and talk to a counselor. Yes, I'm gonna go talk to a mental health counselor, dude. Like, I got issues, bro. Like, it ain't all like peaches and roses out here. You know what I mean? Especially when you transition from the Army. That was another thing I was gonna talk about, is transitioning from the Army. I served 20 years.
Hey, I'm sorry. You need to say something about your wife before you get into trouble.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay, my wife.
I'm just gonna let you know it's still there, so I'm gonna bring it up again. But talk about transitioning out of the Army, and then we want to talk about what's going on with you and your family and all that great stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about transitioning. So when I got out of the Army, I didn't know anything, and that's partly my fault, not knowing anything about the veteran community and stuff, what's to offer and stuff. So I vowed to myself, just like I vowed when I was in the service, to be an expert on veteran resources, right? When I was in the service, I was an expert in my craft. Now I'm going to be an expert in veteran resources. So I've been learning about all these organizations out there. Right now I'm involved with the Mission Continues. They're a great volunteer service organization. I'm involved with Team Red, White, and Blue. They're a great physical activity and social welfare group. I'm involved with 9line. 9line's a freaking awesome group. They're helping all kinds of people. Like I said, Horses Guiding Humans, awesome. But I want to be that resource for everybody. And now I'm going to talk about my wife, Ed, because I need to talk about my wife. All right, my wife, Carrie. Awesome. Together we have four, like I said, 4 children.
Actually, you never said 4 children, but okay.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so I have 4 children altogether.
What are the ages?
I got 19-year-old. She's in Central Washington University. She's kicking ass. She's taking names. She's awesome. She's got an IT major, so she's doing awesome. Her name's Mia. I got a son named Connor. He's autistic. He lives out with his mom up in New York. He's a love. I love that kid so much. I wish it could be like closer to him and everything, but circumstances dictate otherwise. I got a daughter named Abigail. She's 9. She just kicked ass in 3rd grade. Now she's going on to 4th grade. And if you're in Team Red, White, and Blue, you'll see her out on walks because she'll come out and walk with us, and she'll come out to like some of these volunteer events that I do too. And then I got my daughter Leah Ray, and she's Spitfire. She just completed kindergarten. So my wife, we've been married.
Full range there of ages.
I know, right? I call them my deployment babies, It's like, get home, let's get after it, Mom.
And what about your wife?
Yeah, my wife, dude.
So, besides taking care of you and making sure you're okay, what does she do?
Yeah, so my wife, right now, she's in school and she's trying to get her substance use degree. She wants to be an alcohol and substance abuse counselor. We've both been affected by addiction. And she's a really powerful advocate for that. And she's awesome, dude. Like, we've been married since 2010. I met her off of eHarmony because I was in the market. I was like, let me see what I could find. So I found her, and like all the other girls I was talking to at the time, I was like, all right, you guys have to go away. I got to talk to her, So yeah, she's awesome, and she's been by my side. She's been supporting me all throughout the military. She has been in the the FCC, the child and youth services. She was a in-home provider for that too. So yeah, awesome person, man. She comes out to my or to the volunteer organization events and stuff as well. She's really active, and yeah, I'm super proud of my wife. She's awesome.
All right. And then you had somebody reach out.
Oh, that's a Sergeant Major retired Mark Halliburton. He's a pretty good motivator on Freestyle every day. It's a group, for veterans, and they, whatever you want to say, you just throw out like whatever you want to say on Facebook Live, and you got a whole support system. It's called Freestyle Every Day for everybody, and it's awesome. It's like we don't have all the formalities sometimes. Sometimes it's just a person and a cell phone, and they're just like boom, 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 giving you knowledge, and it's awesome.
We're always looking for people here. So if you're on here and you have something to give, just reach out to us. And we'd love to have you on. You can email us at info@helpingthebrave.com. If you know anybody else too, Mike, we'd love to have them on telling their stories, because especially, this month being PTSD, it's really rampant. I don't want to come off wrong, but you either have it before you went in, or you had it from being in, right? Or you had it and it got worse. So,
yeah. And I'll leave you with this. I'm trying to change the narrative of the wounded warrior, because we have a lot of stigma with that too. And I understand that, mental health, it's important. We need to get out there. But there is like this narrative for, veterans coming out of the service that they're broken and they can't do things and this, that, and the third. And
I don't hear that, but okay.
I've heard, I've seen the narrative. There's a narrative. You know what I mean? If you look at some of the advertising, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not diming out any organizations. No. I'm just, that's not what I'm trying to say. Everybody has their part and they all do awesome. No. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying there's a lot of stigma behind veterans, and there's a narrative for being broken. And raising awareness is one thing, but actually doing something about it and getting out there and just be like, hey, we ain't broken. We're veterans. We learned leadership in the Army. You know what I mean? We learned how to selfless service. We learned all this stuff. We're not broken people. We could get out there and get after it. You know what I mean? So
gotcha. Amy, you've been so talkative today.
Well, if you can see, it's the time to be at my house.
Yeah,
Dad,
I saw your dad multiple times back there.
yeah.
So.
And, kids and different things like that. So I am so thankful for your time, Mike. When Mike and I first discussed him being on the podcast, he was like, I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay, let me know, because, we had only met each other a couple times in person. So
yeah.
I wanted to give him the space to decide. And so I really appreciate that you came back and in a pretty short time and said, I'm ready. I'd like to tell my story. And I think that's super powerful. So thank you so much for this honor.
Couple more things to add here for you, Mike. You were saying, and then you get that? Everybody read it? All right. I don't know if you're a slow reader. But
no, I'm good, man. I'm perfectly aware of the military culture and what lies out there.
I'm just putting up there what your people are commenting for you.
Yeah.
And you know that you have a bunch of people there for you.
Yeah, I love it.
What do you need?
Comments. Excuse me, sorry.
Go ahead. What do you need help with for what you're doing?
Oh, dude, volunteers. So I reach out on Facebook. I'm actually going to do Operation Pancakes with Patriots. I just kind of like toss around the idea. Fob Hope is a little encampment for homeless veterans. And I just want to go out there, just cook them a breakfast, break up the monotony, give them some choice on what they choose to eat, and build that camaraderie within the group, and maybe have some other veterans come out there and just kind of shoot the shit and hang out. So that's coming. I also got some other stuff that
Amy will be there for us.
That would be awesome, dude. Maybe we'll go Facebook Live and all this, throw it up there. I'm also trying to do I'm trying to take care of my homeless veterans because, it's an issue. We look outside our windows and we see it on our streets, right? You can't deny it, and we just walk by, and it breaks my heart. I mean, we went from war to coming back to a community that's eroding from the inside. You know what I mean? And we need to fix it. Or we need to get out there and help. So that's what I'm really motivated on right now. I'm trying to get after with my homeless veterans and try to make their lives a little bit easier. I'm a peer counselor, so whatever I could do in that realm too, I would love to. But I know when I was downrange and we had a crappy chow hall, and we could scrounge up some resources from somewhere. Like in Kosovo, we had a local market. We bought eggs, and I got, pancake mix sent through the mail, and then we found bacon somewhere. So we would cook up breakfast on the weekends, and it was just that camaraderie coming together over a meal. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just people getting together. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
I've invited Monica from Fob Hope to be on the podcast, but we've kind of been missing each other. But I have a meeting with her on July 5th. So I'm hoping to get her on the podcast here before.
Awesome. Monica is an awesome person. Yeah, and she's really busy. So you got to kind of tie her down and be like, hey, Monica, where you at? But she's awesome. She's a spitfire too. Holy crap, man. I love her to death. Yeah.
Mike, before we go today, anything else you want to add? I mean, you added a lot. You've gotten your groove, got your talk on.
Yeah, I know. I kind of busted your time.
No, you're good. We're good. We just like to kind of keep it around 30 minutes so people knows how long it's going to be.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many things out there for veterans. I hear a lot of veterans sitting around their house and just complaining about stuff, and they want to get on social media and just, go to town or whatever. I just encourage my veterans to step outside the box, open your front door, go outside. COVID's over, man. COVID's over. It's time to get out in these communities. We need a lot of help, man. We really do. I went out and I gave a little bit of help to the Military Family Advisory Network, and they just did this weekend. They just did this huge delivery of groceries to military families, people that are struggling with food insecurities and stuff like that. Through the Mission Continues, I found out about them. went out there, volunteered my time. I was putting watermelons in the trunk. You know what I mean? Some kid was like, "Is that watermelon for me?" I was like, "Dude, it's all you, buddy." You know what I mean? It was a great time connecting with the community and just giving back. And I want to do more of that, you know, especially for our homeless population. We need to get into the homeless population, and we need to start wreaking havoc, dude. We need to wreak havoc in a good way, like with positivity. You know what I mean? We need to go there and just get after it. And that's what I need help with. Like, I want to push out a bunch of initiatives. Just stay tuned to Facebook. Pacific Northwest Vets, or PNW Vets, is a good group. Freestyle Every Day for Everybody is a good group. They got Veterans Helping Veterans in Washington State. That's a good Facebook group. There's so many Facebook groups out there that you could get involved with, and there's like relevant information just getting pumped out all the time. So, you know, if I pump something out, I just want to get some volunteers. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you do get some volunteers.
Yeah.
With who you are.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know if we can ever help. And if you need to get some more information out there, let us know. We'll get you back on, or somebody else that you know that should be on telling your story or telling something else. And when you figure out the whole homeless veteran thing, let us know.
I got some ideas, man.
All right.
You know, hey, have a good conversation with Lynn. I heard you guys are talking this Thursday. I'm just going to give him a shout out.
Yes,
Lynn
we are.
Yeah, Lynn Ty. That's my buddy up there. And he's in the Mission Continues too. He's the regional operations manager. So give him a quick shout out.
We will. Mike, thank you so much for being here today.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Amy, anything to say before we go?
Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
No problem, Amy. Take it easy.
So many words today from her, I tell you. Guess that's because all the people in the background. I have nobody in the studio. Anyway, Mike, thanks so much for being here today. I want to thank everybody for who was watching today. And if you're watching in the future, you can still make comments. We will reach back out and go back. And if you want to get in touch with Mike, reach out to him. What's the best way to reach out to you, Mike?
So I'm like actively on Facebook. So if you see my name,
just that, Mike, and your last name, just like that.
Mike Pollock. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sometimes it's Michael J or what, I want to make sure. Yeah,
it's Mike Pollock. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity, guys. I really do.
Oh, our pleasure. Actually, thank you for sharing your story. I hope it helps other people come on and share their story.
Yeah, no worries, brother. Anytime.
All right, man. Have a great day. Stay right there.
All right.